to the Called to Learn show. We are excited to be able to do this and to share with you what we've learned through doing a whole bunch of interviews. So we're excited to help. Do you want to tell them what we're doing?
Okay, so this is our Called to Learn show. It's our once a week. We're going to come to you live like this on the webinar, and we are going to go ahead and give you insights that we've received and that we've had from our own family and from families that have the people that we've interviewed.
Yeah.
And so today, so it'll be every Wednesday at 1 p.m., just like it is now, Mountain Standard Time, and we will be here for about a half hour.
Yeah, it won't be very long.
So just want to make it quick and short, but hopefully very impactful for you and your family.
Yeah.
So
the subject this week the subject this week is respond to curiosity. So one of the questions we asked, obviously, was how do you increase your curiosity with your children and for yourself? And okay, so we've interviewed 25 people, right? But so we're not going to show you all 25 responses, but we picked out 3 of them today that we're going to show you. So this is going to be the subject for the full month. So all month long, we'll talk about curiosity, and we'll give you some insights on how they helped their children to learn or be interested in learning. And so that's what we're going to do. So curiosity.
Okay.
All right.
So to start with, well, I guess start sharing some of the ideas we have, or did you want to start with an example of one of our presenters?
Let's do an example.
Okay.
Okay. So we've created a PDF before we had these interviews. We created a PDF on the things that we do to help our kids become curious. And one of them, and we'll just show you what you actually can have that PDF, but I want to increase it now. I want to give it more because I want to add more to it. And if you go to calledtolearn.com/
No, it's not Called to Learn. This one's going to be this is actually on, it is Called to Learn. Never mind.
I read that. So it's on calledtolearn.com / curiosity. You'll be able to get that, that PDF right away. And anyway, so I want to just talk about one of them right now before we introduce our guests and do some videos. So it's interesting. One of the things we do is that we keep secrets.
Now, that sounds bad.
Yeah. When I tell other people this, they're like, what? We are always told not to keep secrets from our children. I mean, between each other, whatever. But I find it so much fun. I find it so invigorating to keep secrets from my children because it builds their curiosity like crazy. Okay, so let's give you just an example then.
Okay.
So we start school, but just before they start school, I bring over one of my children. Say I bring over my 10-year-old, and I whisper in her ear, and I said, okay, this is what we're going to do today, but this is how we're going to do it, and this is what you're going to be doing. And if at this certain time when I say these certain words, you go and get something and bring it in. And she's like, okay, cool. Now, as everybody's gathering in, they're hearing me or seeing that I am whispering a secret to my daughter. And they're like, okay, what's going on? I don't know. We'll have to find out. That's not fair. Yeah, I know.
But it builds curiosity.
Oh my goodness, does it build curiosity? Okay, well, when are we going to do that one thing that you were talking to Italia about? I don't know. Whenever I say certain words. What's the certain words? I don't know. I can't tell you. It's a secret. Anyway, it builds that curiosity so powerfully strong that they get their stuff done. They get their work done. They say their poetry. They do everything super fast. And then they're able to, and then I say those words and Italia will bring something in. Or she'll do something, or she'll say, hey, guess what? It's library day after all today, or something. And then, well, it just proves that curiosity keeps your mind invigorated and it helps you to get your things done better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that we do.
So that's one of the tips.
It's one of your favorites too, I think.
It is one of my favorites. It is one of my favorites because I like secrets too. I mean, not really. Like I would say, please keep a secret from me, right? But I love to be curious.
To be surprised.
I love to be surprised. I love it when I'm like, oh, what is it that he's doing? Oh, what are they doing? I really want to know. And it invigorates me to be a better person. It really does. I'll clean the house just because I know that something cool is going to happen. I don't know. It's a surprise and it's fun. So that curiosity. So keeping secrets is one of the tips for you today.
Okay.
Right. So, ready for a video? Which one are we going to do first?
We're going to do Amy.
All right.
Amy Hansen.
Amy Hansen.
It's really quick.
Cool. I'm wearing her necklace today.
Oh.
So Amy created these for an etiquette simulation and royal simulation that she did recently, and she gave us all necklaces. So that's kind of cool that I'm wearing that. So we're choosing Amy Hansen, and we asked her the question, how does she help her children? Well, it's in there, right? They keep curious. So here's Amy. How do you build their curiosity so they want to learn?
That's a good question. Usually they've been pretty open and responsive when I share. I think just because we do share a lot. Like they'll come to me and say, Mom, that's what I just learned. And I listen and we react and we talk about it and get into conversation. So usually when I come to one of them, I try and time it right too. Because sometimes it's just, it's going to flop. But you've got to time it right. I find a time when I can talk to, hey, can I share this cool thing I just learned with you? And they say, yeah. So we just talk and then I include them in the discussion and the sharing. So I think it's just been built up because it's how we've always done things. That we share with each other and we discuss those things someone's excited about, even if it's not something we originally were too interested in.
Hers was the timing.
Yeah, hers was the timing. So she just sets aside a certain time, like, okay, this is our curious time. And so then she brings in everybody and she starts sharing what she learned. So
yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Ballards are coming up next. If you want to just go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
This is Christopher and Melanie Ballard, and we had just asked them you just asked them the question about being interested in learning for themselves and for their family.
Growing up for me, I didn't like to read. I'd do it if I had to, and most of the time I didn't even have to. I could going to public school, I could write a book report on a book I never read. And I got really good at that. And
Tom does too.
But I talked about our car school before, and listening to great books, and that reading has really ignited my desire to learn, I think, because I realized, wow, there is such insight and such interesting symbolism, just so many great things. Or even if it's just a nonfiction history, and just reading has really opened my.
So when did you learn to love to read then? If you hated it as a child.
Well, it's not that I hated it. It's just that there was other things that were more interesting. I guess. And I think part of it too was just getting more mature, and I think. Sometimes, I'll go back and read the book that I was supposed to read in high school, and I'll think, I couldn't get out of this then what I get out of it now because I just didn't have the life experience. Totally. And so I think part of it is just, hopefully having a more mature insight into life and realizing, wow, there's important lessons here in this story or this history or this biography that I can learn and apply in my life. So I think just realizing this will improve me.
Beautiful. And Chris will often share the things that he's been learning, especially at dinner. He'll talk about, things that are really interesting to him, and he'll pull out, he reads at night to the kids. I know a lot of dads do that. He's really good, and he'll kind of pick the kid that needs the attention or needs something special, and then anyone can come in and listen with that one, but it was for that kid, and he'll pick his favorite ones, his stories that he wants to pass
on.
So
it's especially to do with just developing the curiosity by reading books and having sharing their ideas, the passions they have
Yeah.
as they're reading books with their kids.
Yeah. And how many different ways do they read books, right? I loved when he said car school. So the conversation just before that
All right, you better explain
was,
that.
yeah, was they said we have car school, and that just means that they put an audio book in as they're going anywhere and they're
Whether it's on
traveling
vacation
anywhere.
or whether it's to and from things or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
Especially longer trips, if I remember right.
Yes, yeah. Well, especially on longer trips, they always did that for that. So that was what car school was. And then another thing that he does every night is that he read to them, and had them they were able to be able to read to each other or read to a certain person, a certain subject, and anyone could listen in. I really like that part too. I thought that was really brilliant, actually, to have that one-on-one, being able to see it really good, but then again, not being able to, but to have everybody participate at the same time. So I'm
going to mention something real quick here.
Go ahead.
Becca was saying something about being able to see the two videos, see two of the videos on my phone and on my laptop, but on my phone I have to click the video with each change of the video. Does that make sense? Yes. I've had that happen sometimes, like Saturday during our big long one, we had no problems. And my phone just kept going. That's what I use as my device to kind of keep track of what's going on, to make sure it's working for you. And for some reason, Saturday, it just ran smoothly. Today, I'm having to click every time too, sadly. But just keep right there and keep doing it.
Okay.
And great, Veronica, on your iPad, it's working. I'm glad to see that it's working
good
some of the time.
Good.
Okay, so you were going to share something in now.
Well, I thought I would just kind of just surprise you.
Okay.
And I want to ask you, how do you increase your curiosity? How do you respond to curiosity and make that response?
Okay. So one of the things that helps me with curiosity, you're not going to be super surprised by this.
I mean, maybe I won't, but it could be insightful for others.
For me, it's not. It's one of the first thing that comes to my mind. I actually thought of this earlier when we were getting ready for today.
Okay.
And I was thinking, okay, what if she asks me what I do for curiosity?
Oh, you already knew. See, I need to be more spontaneous.
So what I had thought of actually was, I use language.
Oh yeah.
I use foreign languages.
Yeah.
To help me keep my curiosity, because especially if it's something that I read frequently, like the scriptures, we read them over and over again. Mm-hmm. To keep my curiosity, I like to read them in different languages. Like right now, you and I are reading them in Dutch, the Book of Mormon in Dutch, and I'm about halfway through the Book of Mormon in Spanish, and that keeps me curious, because I can't just read through it and not really remember what I'm reading. Mm-hmm. I have to pay more attention.
That's good, because
it's not a language I'm speaking every day, like I speak English.
Yeah,
so
because you can see those words in a different language is different, and you're like, what is that? Oh, that puts a whole new meaning on a word that's just a common word.
It'll put it to us. And we were talking with my brother Dave the other day, and we were talking, I think it was Dave, we were talking. And anyway, we were talking about reading in a different language, and some people say, oh, but it's so much better in whatever language, say Spanish, because it's richer and it has all these cool ways of explaining things. And I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I've read it in Italian, I've read in Dutch, and now in Dutch and Spanish, and in every case, it's not that the language is more descriptive. It's not more that it's richer. It's that I see it. It's like I have an item here, something simple like a pen, but I'm looking at it from this angle, and then when I look at another language, I'm looking at it from this angle, or I'm looking at it from this angle. Mm-hmm. It's the same pen. It's giving the same message, but because I'm using a different language, it's coming from a different angle.
Yeah.
And that's the way I see it. And that keeps my curiosity up.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, language is a great way to do that. That's awesome. So I wanted to also introduce you to our inquiry bag. Well, we used to call it the inquiry bag all the time, but we now call it the curiosity bag because it's kind of the same thing. So introduce. It's a Christmas bag. I don't know why it's still a Christmas
I know why,
bag, but
because
it
you got
is.
it. You were able to find a bag, and it was
Okay.
it's cloth. It's a cloth
That's
bag
true,
instead of
that's
just
true.
a.
So let me just show you some of the things that are in here. There's kind of random things, but it's fun. And Tom doesn't know this.
I have no idea what's in here
Yeah,
she
because
just
he hasn't
refilled it today, and I'm not
been
at school every day.
part of the, our walks, our nature walks and things like that we do. So just some
is that
felt.
a flower?
It's something that we created out of a felt, but we use it now as a duster or a rag or whatever.
Okay.
All right, so this was really fun. It's a pen light. So if I'm pointing out to something like, look at that building on the 4th floor, and then I can just turn on the light and point to it. And so it doesn't work anymore, so I need a new one. But I liked it for that pointer reason. Now I have a ton of
So
stuff
you
in here,
used
so I'm
this.
just
You
going to show
used
you
it.
a few.
You used it when you were doing something else to point to something to gain curiosity in that object.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a screwdriver, and I have a compass so that we can draw circles in the sand or however if we need circles. I have weird things like weird items like a clip, different ways to hold things, to grab things. I have 2 different sizes of. Let's see if they're in here. Oh, here we go. 2 different sizes of these, and just in case we need to hold something or grab something or clamp something together, we have these little clamps.
So how is this used for curiosity?
Oh, okay. That's a good reason. Good question. So we take this on walks with us or on trips with us or in the car with us. And if we see something that we're interested in learning, then hopefully a tool that we can use is in our curiosity bag.
Right, have a tool,
Yeah.
like a magnifying
glass to look at it closer, or rope to tie it up with. That's important. So we can go to the lake, so we can have the parks nearby that we can gather up. This is for an ear, but we use it for
as a sample.
as a sample for our different, liquids. We have tapes and scissors. Oh, and measuring, like how big is it? How long is it? How tall is it?
So it looks like sometimes it's something that you may be gathering and bringing home, but sometimes it's just like to check it out while you're right there.
Yeah. Another thing we have is binoculars and bags to carry things home in. Another thing is the binoculars. Yesterday even we had the binoculars in the car, and my brother-in-law was in the car, and he's like, I can't remember what I ordered. So he gets out his binoculars, looks in there, and he can read the menu, and he goes, oh yeah, it was this. So binoculars come in handy at weird times and strange times.
That is strange and weird.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's our curiosity bag. So I encourage you to get a curiosity bag that's just filled with tools that can help you to answer the questions you're going to have when you get curious.
Cool.
So that's what the curiosity bag is. So
okay, we have time for one more person.
All right, let's do Alex.
Okay, so should we just play it and then we can talk about it?
Yep. So Alex is a young father of 2
So
children.
in our society, we don't have enough curiosity, right? We don't have enough creativity either. And so how would you go about creating that curiosity, say in your sons or with the people that you're teaching?
I go about creating that curiosity by putting them, like I was saying, what I do with myself when I'm reading.
Yeah.
I will put them in those situations, and I try to basically paint the picture in their minds where they're going about, they're experiencing these things. I'll pull up modern examples that I feel are the equivalent of what they're learning about, and find the symbolism behind it. But also, I'll admit, it can be really hard to be curious.
Yeah.
We can lose curiosity. I lose curiosity occasionally. So one method that I practice on myself and I teach other people to do is that as they read, if they aren't curious, this is what they got to do. As they're reading, as they're studying, they have their study journal out, and the second they read anything of any sort of significance or importance, even though the brain is saying the curiosity-killing words of, I already know this, right?
Oh, big time.
Even though the
Another
brain might already be saying that,
danger.
I say, I don't care. Whatever I just read that stands out in any small way, shape, or form, or is significant in any way, even if I already know it, I'm going to write it down. And I'm going to start writing down everything that starts appearing like that. And once I start writing that down, I start to find my heart, my mind becomes unhardened. I start becoming more moldable, and I look at it and I start to have questions. I go, okay, what does that mean? And even if I don't have a question come, after I've written these things down, I force myself to go, what does this mean?
Yeah.
And try to find other references to it. And that actually starts to open up my curiosity and gets me going again.
I love that. That's a fabulous answer, because we just need more of that. And if you don't have it, then you go. So like in your presentation, when you talked about, Captain Moroni had the title of Liberty, but he put on the armor first. He prepared himself first. And I thought, it does? I've read that 1,000,000 times. I didn't realize that. So you helped me see more into it. Now I'm curious. I can't wait to go back and study. Yeah, so I love that about your curiosity.
My favorite part on that, my favorite part was when he talked about the curiosity killing phrases going on in your head. You know, like, I already know this, and this can happen anywhere. This could be in a class, whether it's a school class or a church class or a family home evening even, where you or one of your kids is thinking, oh, I already know this. And the second you do that, you won't learn anything new.
Yeah.
And so it kills your curiosity.
Yeah.
So I really like the point that he made there about the fact that it totally kills the curiosity when you. Sorry, we're trying to do this. Someday we're going to get this technology and us talking at the same time working great. Anyway, I think it's really important to be aware of those curiosity-killing thoughts.
Yeah.
And phrases that could easily go through in your mind, and now you're back to you can read a whole paragraph or a whole you could even read a whole page and go back and, what did I just read? I don't remember anything I just read.
Yeah.
Because if your curiosity isn't there, you're not going to learn it. You're not going to learn anything new. You're not going to be able to pull out the principles that are in whatever you're reading, if it's something you're reading.
I loved he said that we were able to get a study journal out. And as soon as a question or anything pops into your head, you immediately go to your study journal and write that question down. I thought that was really significant. You stop those words, right, that are coming into your head that I already know this, I already know that. It doesn't matter. And then he goes back to those questions and looks at, okay, what new can I learn from this subject? I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Really brilliant. I thought his answer was probably one of my favorites and one of the best by far, is keeping that curiosity going and keeping it up. Okay. So we're going to move on to a new section. So that was the curiosity section. We're going to move on to a section called relationship tips. So Tom and I went out to a cabin several months ago and created a whole bunch of tips for you. And we've given them out to some people at different events that we've done. And so we thought it'd be a fun time to just share one or two every show that we do. So this is us at the cabin, and the tip that we're sharing is 3 magic words. Am I right?
Yep,
okay.
We got 3 magic. We're not going to tell what they are.
3 magic words, and
you keep your curiosity there.
Yeah, what could be those magic words?
Hi, I'm Tom Neal, and I've got 3 magic words for you. You like the 3 magic words one?
I do like the 3 magic words one.
3 magic words tip. So, have you ever watched your teenager come in and they may have some very obvious body language? The door slams, and then they're kind of slumped over. And what's your first reaction? What's your first initial thing to say? What's with you? Or are you okay? Or what other some other ones?
Yes and no questions.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do it. Because teenagers especially are really good at making questions, even if it's a what question, which isn't normally, you don't normally think of that as a
that's true.
As a yes or no question.
What you doing? Nothing. That happens so often, right?
Or
nothing.
How'd it go at school today?
Fine.
Or whatever it is. Fine, whatever. So I have 3 magic words for you. These 3 magic words are cool because it makes it really hard for whomever you're asking to say, oh no.
Yeah, they have to say something.
When
It's
you say
pretty
these
hard
words,
not to.
it's pretty hard not to just to say fine, because that's just not going to work. So yeah, these magic words actually work. We've used them a lot with our children.
So the three magic
and
words.
others like each other.
So the three magic words. The three magic words are tell me about. Seems pretty simple. Tell me about. But think about it. It's harder to give a one word
Answer.
grunt answer
Yep.
if you're asking tell me about. Tell me about your history test you took, or tell me about
Your dance recital.
whatever it is. Tell me about. And the next thing they're going to be doing is telling you about it. It's
And you're
pretty hard
going to be
get out of it.
listening. That's one of our tips.
What, they should listen
Yeah, they should listen.
after they ask the question?
Yeah. Isn't that a good one?
So, the tip, three magic words. Tell me about. I wanted to notice something that I noticed while watching this, because we watched the whole thing while you worked too. And one of the things I noticed was that curiosity, it was perfect for today, because when you say, tell me about, you're telling the person that you're talking to, or that you're wanting to get to talk to you, you're telling them that you're curious. And when think about it, when you're teaching the kids something, or you're talking to someone about something, if they're curious, you have a way better time in that experience.
Yeah.
You want to you put more energy in it. You want to give more.
Yeah.
And you'll find that with whether it's your kids having that curiosity, or you asking, tell me about your spouse, your friends, your kids. They'll all have more enthusiasm because you're showing your curiosity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So use the three magic words. It's awesome.
Okay. So in our conclusion, I just wanted to let you know, thinking about this, whenever someone asks you or tells you that there's going to be a change. So for instance, you're going to have a baby, or you have to move, or your boss is telling you that you're going to be changed to a different department. There's always three ways to respond.
Okay.
So you can respond in a negative way and say, "Oh,
can't believe I
what
have to do
if this happens? What if I don't like anybody?" Or, "Oh my goodness, what if the new baby causes this problem?" You can do those what if questions in a negative way, or you could do it and change them into a positive way and say, "Okay, this is what's going to happen," or "I hope it's this," or, changing it to a positive. And then the third way is just to be curious. Just to be curious, just thinking, "Oh, I could learn this in this new position. I'm going to be able to teach my little son how to hold a baby," and make it into a curiosity. So there's always three ways to respond to a choice. And I think that's a great way to end.
To end today.
Yeah.
There's the three different ways you have choices as to how you respond to
and to respond with curiosity rather than to respond in the negative.
Awesome.
Yeah, because sometimes changing the negative to a positive is really difficult and hard.
Yeah, but if you can
if you can just think of this, I'm going to be curious about this. I'm going to create that curiosity in me and start asking questions about what's new.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
So that's getting more curiosity I have for more things we can talk about next week. So, but that's it for today. And we hope you've enjoyed it. We have enjoyed being able to share this with you, to bring this to you. And so that's it.
Okay.
We will see you next week.
Thank you. And also, we'd love to hear your feedback. If there's something you want to talk about, or if there's something that you would like to have us do better or more or different or change or whatever, we're curious to know what you would like to hear. So please give us your feedback.
Give us your feedback either in the chat attached, or send us a message, Facebook or email, and just let us know what, maybe there's some relationship tips or whatnot that you're curious about. Curious about. I didn't do that purposely. Okay, thanks. Have a great day. See you next week.